You are looking live outside of David E. Hastings Stadium here in Guelph. This is Royals TV on a beautiful Saturday night. My name is Mark Perry alongside Josh Alderman, and it is the pennant-winning Welland Jackfish in town to take on the Guelph Royals. And Josh, when you look at the pennant winners, 5 wins in a row, 28-10 on the season. We'll quickly start with them. Even though that they have already locked up first place, really it's making sure that their guys are, still keeping fresh as we get closer and closer to the playoffs.
Well, it's all about shaking off the rust, making sure those big names up and down that lineup are staying healthy, are staying in a rhythm, staying loose out there on the field. They don't exactly have much to play for because, as you mentioned, partner, they have locked up the pennant, and boy, have they locked it up at the top of the IBL. 28-10, like you mentioned, first place on a 5-game win streak entering tonight. So for them, it's really going to be about rotating in some of their bullpen pitchers, get them some innings to qualify them for the playoffs. And as for those big bats in the starting lineup, well, just get them some action.
Well, as we look at those 5 games that they've won, they took down Brantford 10-0 at home back on Thursday. A 6-1 win over London, a 15-1 decision over Barrie, that one at home, and a 3-2 win over Barrie. These closer games have been in there, but more importantly, it seems like Welland's starting to find their groove. Their, May, early June, juggernaut status at the right time this year after kind of falling off a little bit.
Well, they've really picked up the pace as of late, improving heading into tonight's contest with league-leading stats in both runs scored and runs allowed, hitting .316 in the first category and allowing just 149 in the latter, both league leading.
Well, the player to watch for tonight is going to be James Smybird. He is in the cleanup spot. He is batting .563 in his first 4 games since he wasn't even released from Trois Rivières on July 27th. He was actually put on the retirement list in the Frontier League, so interesting to see that. You don't get an outright release. He's just put on the retirement list there with Trois Rivières, and he has made his mark here for the Welland Jackfish, to say the very least, in his first 4 games. It'll be very interesting to see how he plays here tonight. As we are going to go to the anthem, we'll have the Guelph story and more after this. Don't go anywhere. This is Royals TV. Welcome back to Royals TV. The anthem is done. We are getting set for first pitch here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. As we take a look at the Guelph Royals, as they sit at an 18-19 record on the year. They are 5th in the IBL. Actually, they are 6th, as they are just a half game in behind Hamilton. As you see on the screen right there, there's a little bit of a mix-up in between Guelph and Hamilton. Hamilton is technically ahead of Guelph, but of course, as you see there, Hamilton does have that extra game in hand to work with too. So I think that's why the algorithm's doing what it's doing there. But nonetheless, algorithms, you take a look at the games behind after Welland has clinched the pennant, and it's a tight race, to say the very least, as the Guelph Royals, technically they're only 3 games behind second place in the IBL. That is how close things are as we head to the nitty-gritty. Just 5 games remaining, 4 after tonight for the Guelph Royals, a team that's won 2 straight games.
Well, that just goes to show you how much fortunes can turn on a dime here in the IBL. Just 5 games remaining, as you mentioned, and you look at those standings. Barrie and London, both 6.5 games back. Chatham-Kent, 7. Cardinals, 9. And the Royals, just a half game back of Hamilton. Really, a couple wins here and a couple fortunate losses helping them out along the way, going in their favor, can really go a long way for these Royals.
Well, and it really depends on the matchups, too, because you have some of these head-to-head matchups still to come for all of the teams that are in the thick of that race. You have Guelph with 2 games left against the Hamilton Cardinals, and how big those 2 games are. It's very, very important to get 2 wins in that season series, because that'll put you ahead of the Cardinals, and really you still have an outside shot of getting home field advantage in the first round of the playoffs. But as we've talked about before, nobody wants to play these Royals in the first round of the playoffs. As we turn to the starting pitcher for tonight's game, it is Brandon Deans getting the nod on the bump for the Royals.
Brandon Deans enters tonight's contest with a .568 ERA across 11 games played and 31 innings pitched. Given up 21, walked 28, but has struck out 37 and had a massive rebound performance in his last start back on July 19th, right here at home against the Brantford Red Sox. Went 7 innings, gave up 1 run on 2 hits, walked just 3 batters, and struck out a very, very impressive 11 on the night.
Got him Pitcher of the Week honors when he ended up with that performance. As we take a look now, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Welland Jackfish.
Of course, leading things off will be the second baseman, Jonah Weisner, followed up by center fielder Gio Morello, right fielder Mateo Porcelato, first baseman Smyber, then catcher Robert Mullen, DH Grayson Barrett, third baseman Thomas Green, shortstop Brendan Luther, and then to round out the lineup in the 9-hole, left fielder Brendan Hupe.
As we try to get our P's and Q's sorted out here in the broadcast booth, we have a newcomer helping us in the producer spot here tonight. So, again, it's a work in progress. Just doing some training and helping everybody try to get everything sorted out as we get set for some baseball here on a beautiful Saturday night.
As mentioned, leading things off will be the second baseman, Jonah Weisner.
The delivery, that one just missing on the outside for ball 1. We are underway at 7:34. Glad to have you with us here at Hastings. That'll go in for a strike.
As you can see, the Royals playing a very traditional defense. Jordan Gallo over there at third base, playing quite on top of the infield grass, trying to prevent a bunt situation. As that one goes out for a ball.
2 balls, 1 strike. The delivery, swing and a miss for strike 2.
Dean's really going outside and low against Weisner, and why wouldn't he? Weisner entering tonight, .335 batting average, 57 hits on the season so far.
The 2-2. That one's foul back. As Weisner stays alive. Three for 5 against Brantford 48 hours ago. Hit a double in that one. Hits in 4 of his last 5 as that one's cued over to Connor Morrow. Over to first in time, and that will be a 6-3 putout to start the ball game here for the Guelph Royals. As we take a look now at the defense for the Guelph Royals in behind Brandon Deans. Josh.
Keeping the outfield safe tonight will be Ethan Hammond, Andy Leader, and Carson Burns. On the infield from left to right, Gallo, Moro, Torres, and of course, Garrett Takamatsu. Behind the plate tonight is Matthew Ward, and on the hill, the aforementioned Brandon Deans.
All right, so here is Gio Morello, captain of this team, will take one for strike number one. Porch hitting Morello rather. Got my Porchelatos and my Morellos mixed up there. He's hitting .328 on the season as he fouls that one right toward the Royals dugout side. Former Brantford Red Sox. Fourth year with the Jackfish. The 0-2. That one's put right on over with the hops. Connor Morrow making glove out of nothing at all. 2 down.
How sweet it is. Connor Morrow having himself quite the season in the infield defensively. Flashing the leather like no other. Just putting on a defensive clinic to kick off this game so far.
So here comes Mateo Porchelato, the right fielder. One of the league leaders with a .398 average. That one just missing downstairs, 1-0. Though he has been a little bit cold in the last couple of games, 0 for his last 8. Although before that, he had himself a mighty fine 5-game stretch. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Porch. The delivery, that one missing downstairs.
Royals shifting back to their usual infield setup. No more risk of a bunt.
The 2-1, that one right at the knees for a strike as Deans picks the bottom corner.
And that's something he's done with all 3 of the Jackfish batters that he's faced. A lot of fastballs down and away, really trying to get some chases going against some tough bats at the top of this Jackfish lineup.
The 2-2, that one right up the middle, and that'll get through for a base hit. Porch found the hole, and he will get on first.
Well, that is going to bring up our player to watch for the Welland Jackfish. Smyber, the 29-year-old, actually in his 3rd season with the Welland Jackfish, played with them back in 2022 and 2023, and as we mentioned before at the top of the broadcast, enters tonight's contest with a .563 batting average. 9 hits, 4 ribeyes, and 7 runs in just 4 games played.
That one's going to skip away from Ward, and advancing to second easily is Porchelato.
And that's something we don't see a lot of from Brandon Deans. He's very controlled. If anything, that would end up down in the dirt. That would still find its way into Ward's glove. We do not see a lot of wild pitches from Brandon Deans, so something to keep an eye on as this one progresses.
Smybert with the Aggies to start the year. The 1-0. That one missing way inside.
Former collegiate standout in NCAA with Mount Olive College.
Deans gets set. Takes a look over with Porch at second base. A chopper's going to stay in the infield, but it's fouled off the foot.
And poor Gelato up there at second. He was raring to run. Had a fantastic lead. Connor Morrow right on top of him, but Franklin Torres playing closer to first than second. No chance he's going to come in and cover the bag.
Well, it should be noted that Porch is 22 for 25 on stolen bags this year, so He's quick. The 2-1. That one's flared into foul territory.
And of course, he's coming off last season where he put up a very impressive 27 stolen bases in just the regular season. We know he has the athleticism, the quickness, that lethal first step. We'll see if he tries to run here in a 2-2 count.
Well, he's tied for the lead with 22 stolen bags with Ren Takioka of Brantford and his teammate Jonah Weisner. Deans takes a look at Porchelato. The 2-2, that one missing outside. So it gets away from Deans there. Puts the count at full, and Porch will be off on the pitch here.
Deans again going with that four-seamer down and away. Really seems to be avoiding the strike zone, trying to get some chase pitches from these lethal leadoff batters.
The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike three. Deans gets him. First strikeout of the ball game, and we remain scoreless here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. And right there, you get Porchelato on base with a single, but Deans just erases it, puts it in the back of his mind, and says, okay, let's just K the next guy.
Yeah, speak of the chase, and you shall get it. He was right in there, and Porchelato didn't seem to have quite a read on what Dean's strategy really was. Great recovery from Deans after giving up the single and then that wild pitch. Good recovery, and that's really been the theme of about the last month for Deans, is just recovery, rebounding from a slow start to the season. He has become just so amazing at being able to bounce back from little difficulties.
All right, well, we are getting set here for the bottom of the first inning. And the pitcher coming into the ball game here for the Welland Jackfish, Euclides Layer, will get the start here tonight.
Layer, the 35-year-old, enters tonight's contest with a very impressive 1.99 ERA. Across 12 games, he has 40 innings pitched, 5 wins to his name, 52 strikeouts compared to 9 batters walked. His last start came July 27th in the Steel City against the Cardinals. 7 innings pitched, gave up 2 walks, 6 hits, no runs though. Struck out 9 on his way to a win.
As we get things set here for the bottom of the first, the Guelph Royals. Let's take a look at that lineup for the Royals here tonight as they get set to battle Euclides Layer and the Jackfish.
Leading things off will be second baseman Franklin Torres, followed up by shortstop Connor Morrow, DH Kaner Pena, first baseman Garrett Takamatsu in the 4-hole, followed up by catcher Matthew Ward, third baseman Jordan Gallo, left fielder Ethan Hammond, and then rounding out the lineup will be right fielder Carson Burns and center fielder Andy Leader.
All right, well, here comes the aforementioned Franklin Torres, and he has been on a tear, hitting .607 in his first 6 games, including a 5-for-5 evening in London just 24 hours ago.
He is on a tear as of late and would love to keep the hot streak going against the league leaders.
That'll go across for strike one, just above the knees.
Torres entering tonight's contest a .607 batting average, 11 hits to his name, just 2 RBIs.
That one will miss inside. And actually 17 for 28. He got a few since. I think he had 9 hits in just his first 2 games.
Started to cool off just a touch, but .607 is nothing to scoff at.
Not at all, as there is a strike. Torres came in as a catcher last year, has transitioned nicely and is now an everyday infielder, although has the option of going behind the dish. There's a swing and getting just a piece of it.
Well, it's important to note that he was a regular infielder with the LA Angels organization, with whom he spent over 6 years of his career bouncing around their farm system. I believe he topped out at AA. Became catcher with the Royals and as you mentioned, has slid back into that infielder role oh so nicely.
Yeah, he was a shortstop in Venezuela this year before coming back over to the Royals. So again, just a great option to have. And he's been wasting pitches left and right here on Lair and continues to step in. The delivery, that one's cranked high. It's going to be playable. Porcelado getting underneath it, and he'll make the catch. One down as Torres is retired on the flyouts. Let's take a look at the defense playing in behind Euclides Lair here tonight for the Welland Jackfish.
Well, it is going to be Hupe, Morello, and Porcelado patrolling the outfield grass. And then from left to right, you got Green, Luther, Wisner, and Smybird. Behind the dish, Mullen, and on the hill, Lair.
So here is Connor Morrow, the shortstop. First pitch, he sees the appeal over to first. They're not going to. The umpire says, no, I'm not appealing that. That's a ball all day, sir. Ryan Herron, the home plate umpire. Mike Guthrow is the crew chief over at first. Francesco DiBiase is over at third. So Guthrow not called in action there as Herron says, that's a ball all day, sir. Two balls, no strikes here on Connor Morrow. And he gets on with a base hit. Morrow, exact same spot where Porcelado put his single, and the Royals are on the board here.
Well, that's just fantastic vision from Morrow, able to spot the hole a mile away. Makes the most of it with a perfectly timed swing. He's not the most powerful bat in this Royals lineup, but he can certainly do a lot of damage with that elite level contact. Now improves up to 13 hits in 14 games played since returning to the Royals.
Well, you saw on the screen there Kaner Pena's numbers as he looks to improve on his stats and will try to drive Morrow around the bases.
He already has 9 RBIs so far this season in his short time with the Royals.
There's a swing and a miss for strike number 2.
And that rolls perfectly into my next point, that he has had a lot of struggles with breaking balls, a lot of sliders, change-ups that often go away from him, down and away even. He's been struggling a lot in that department.
Throw over to second base, and he got him. Robert Mullen guns out Connor Morrow as Jonah Wisner applies the tag.
Well, that was just perfect timing all around from the Welland Jackfish. Mullen spotting that steal attempt a mile away. Wisner and Luther both there to cover the bag at the perfect time.
That one's foul back.
And that just goes to show you how much of a well-oiled machine these Jackfish are. They don't really swap in and out too many guys off of the bench. It's the same core players night in and night out, and you really develop a chemistry with your teammates, your infield teammates.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Euclides Lair faces the minimum here in the first inning, and it's scoreless between the Jackfish and the Royals. We'll be back after this. You are watching Royals TV. Welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Perry, Josh Alderman here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph, as here comes Robert Mullen to the plate rather, for the Welland Jackfish.
The 29-year-old with a proverbial hill to climb against Brandon Deans. Of course, we mentioned the rebound game that he had against the Red Sox just a few weeks back.
He was not swinging at that one whatsoever.
Right in, just below knee level. No chance for that one.
Deans delivers. Similar positioning there, similar result, although Mullen was biting a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, and Deans really seems to favor that right-hand side.
That one's sent into foul ground. This is the big bopper for the Jackfish. 10 home runs on the season. Jordan Castaldo and Eddie DeOlio from Toronto and London, respectively, also with double-digit homers this season. The 2-1. That one missing downstairs.
And just to show you how much pitchers around the IBL have really acknowledged and respected the power that he brings, he's up to 32 walks on the season.
That one's crushed. High and deep, and no doubt about that one. That's number 11 for Robbie Mullen, and the Jackfish have taken a 1-0 lead.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about. That's the power that IBL pitchers have feared, that they try to avoid so desperately, that they have walked him 32 times this season. A monster mash for Robert Mullen as the 29-year-old, as you mentioned, partner, picks up his 11th of the season.
The designated hitter, number 24.
Well, that's how things get started here for the Fish.
All it takes is one.
As here comes Grayson Barrett. Another bopper on this team as he puts that one down the left field line, and that one's going to go into foul ground. Barrett, 7 homers on the season, batting .299 on the season.
On that last foul ball, it wasn't just, out of play or anything. No, that was drifting back, well past the 325 sign out there in left field. Missed the foul pole by a good dozen meters, but plenty of power in his bat.
Out'll miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Barrett. And he'll take that one in for a strike. One ball, 2 strikes. That one just missing at the knees.
And I think it really shows what kind of an elite level talent that Grayson Barrett is. Batting .299 entering tonight, 7 homers, 32 RBIs, but also has a team-leading 42 strikeouts.
That one's going to get through Deans and into center field. A base hit for Barrett. Nobody away, and the Jackfish are starting to roll here.
And that is a sentence that no team wants to hear. The Jackfish are starting to roll. This team thrives off of momentum. And when you have such a stacked lineup like the one that the Jackfish have put together tonight, you've got guys that not only hit for power, but hit for contact up and down the lineup. Thomas Green, who's up at the dish now, no exception to that.
Deans gets set, runner on first. That one missing in the dirt.
The 25-year-old with a .310 batting average entering tonight's contest. A recent pickup by the Jackfish. In just 8 games, has 9 hits, 10 runs scored, 2 homers, and 6 RBIs. He has been a big late-season addition for the Fish.
There's a strike as he just takes for that one. Well, Greener in his 9th game of the season. One ball, 1 strike. That one missing way inside. Has hits in 7 of his first 8 games since joining the Fish. Made his debut back on July 24th against Hamilton. And there's a strike.
Dean's finally starting to break out of the rut he was in, where all he threw was to the right side of the plate, left side from our vantage point. Now starting to throw away to these batters.
Good protection there as Ward blocks it. But it's in the dirt, a full count. Here on green, the third baseman. Royals fans starting to stomp their feet already here at Hastings Stadium in front of us. They try to bring some energy here to Deans. The 3-2. That one's put right on over. Morrow fields it over to second. They get the force out. And that's an important out over at second base as they get the lead runner.
And that's just that defensive prowess that we mentioned earlier from Connor Morrow. The vision that he brings, not just to the plate, but out there on the infield. We talk about some of the best defenders in the IBL. I think Connor Morrow's name needs to come up just a little more often.
Well, here's Brandon Luther. See those numbers on the screen, a 446 on-base percentage. And the OPS around 893. 2 home runs on the season.
Dean is shaking off 3 consecutive calls from Ward. See what he delivers here.
That one missing downstairs, and Ward quickly gets into the upright position to ward off Thomas Green over at first base. Jackfish come into this ball game as one of the better teams in the IBL. There's a throw into first base. They got him. Thomas Green is gunned down at second base. And there's 2 away.
Well, nothing less would be expected from Matthew Ward and Connor Morrow, a deadly duo. A killer pairing if there ever was one. Ward, an absolute cannon of an arm, and Connor Morrow, again, that vision, that prowess, right there to place the tag.
That one moves away from Ward, and that is key. There's nobody on base anymore. He just lets that one go. Welland coming into tonight, 85 stolen bases on 103 attempts. Tops in the IBL on stolen bags. The 2-1, that one missing on the outside. One of many categories they lead the league in, of course.
And you can just add that to the plethora of reasons that this is such a dangerous team. Contact, power, speed, all of their batters can seemingly do it all.
Here's the 3-1. Chased in for strike number 2. Well, one thing that they need to figure out, especially going into the playoffs, is how to play at Welland Stadium. 11-8 their record at home, 17-2 on the road. The 3-2. That one's going to get over and through the gap. A base hit for Brendan Luther. Third hit of the inning for the Jackfish, including that home run from Robert Mullen that led things off. Now here's Brandon Hoope.
Entering tonight, batting .284, has 40 hits, including 2 home runs, not to mention 26 RBIs on the season so far. And of course, we talk about there's the contact in the hits, the power in the home runs and the RBIs. Also has 8 stolen bases, so there's the speed. A very well-rounded Jackfish roster.
The delivery right across just below belt level for strike 1.
Royals defense continuing to play straight up. No need to try for a double play here. 1 out is all you need to get out of the jam.
Deans gets set. The delivery. That one missing inside. Bit of a 50-50 ball there. So he didn't miss by much.
Yeah, it really could have gone either way, and I think that was the intention from Deans. Seemingly falling back on trying to get chases from these Jackfish batters.
And there's a strike. Similar location, different result that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And just a touch higher. He knew Hupe wasn't going to take the bait, so might as well run it back.
The 1-2. That one is going to get over to Morrow. He knocks it down, and Hupe is safe over at first. So runners now on first and second. Miraculous attempt there by Connor Morrow, as at minimum he just keeps that baseball in the infield. If that goes in the outfield, Luther's probably getting over to third.
If not home, 14 stolen bases on the season, a speed threat like pretty much every other Jackfish batter tonight. Great defensive block there from Connor Morrow, even if the result wasn't the one that he wanted.
Here's Jonah Weisner. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Look over to second base, the delivery. That'll go in for a strike, and Weisner not too thrilled with that strike call.
Yeah, really letting Heron hear it. Voicing his opinion, which of course he's entitled to. He's got to be careful though.
Check over to second base. Dean's taking his time. The 0-1, that one is blocked by Ward. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the thing is there, too, Weisner voicing his opinion, but he wasn't really up in arms, to say the very least. Just, hey, maybe was that, how far off was that? Or how far in was that? Just to kind of get a sense of the strike zone. Because, again, it is very early, and batters are just trying to figure out what the strike zone is going to be like tonight from Ryan Heron. The 1-1, fouled back. Fouled back so hard, it bounces right back off the backstop and into the infield.
Shook more than a few fans here in the grandstands, and a fantastic crowd here at Hastings tonight. You can see some pockets of green amongst the swathes of blue and white.
Well, I mean, the Jackfish fans, they travel well, I'll tell you that much. I've been to many a ballparks this season, including the All-Star Showdown in Hamilton. They travel in droves down the QE Dub. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Weisner. Another one fouled back as Weisner extends the at-bat.
And the Jackfish don't seemingly have a strategy like the Royals kind of had back in that first inning of trying to run up Layer's pitch count. Really? The Jackfish are looking at how much damage they can do. That wasn't a swing to intentionally foul it back. That was a swing to try and go yard.
Another look back at second. Dean's the delivery. Chopper. Grabbed there by Torres. Over to first in time. And the Royals get out of it, but not before Robbie Mullen hits his 11th home run of the season. He has solo possession of the league lead in that category, and the Welland Jackfish have a 1-0 lead as we head to the home half of the second.
And again, that's what it keeps coming back to for Brandon Deans across the last month for him. Recovery, rebounding, bouncing back from tough situations and making the most of them. And that's what he did right there in that inning. Gave up the home run, threw a couple balls down in the dirt, looked very displeased with this situation, but instead of letting it get to him, he used it as fuel. Induced some unproductive contact, some soft contact that never left the infield, and was able to get out of the jam. Though he did give up the run, that's got to boost your confidence if you're Royals manager Dino Ramel.
So we are into the home half of the second inning, and a chance here for the Guelph Royals to just try to answer back. And it should be noted too, this is the 5th and final meeting of the regular season between these two teams. Welland has won all 4 meetings, but keep in mind that this is a very different Guelph Royals team since the last time these two teams played back on July 15th. A 6-1 win for the Jackfish here in Guelph.
And you look at the season series, the Jackfish have outscored up to this point the Royals 30-13 entering tonight's contest. That is astonishing. That is very, very impressive. But as you mentioned, partner, this is a very different Royals team. A couple new big additions have really changed the fortunes of this club.
209 runs scored for the Guelph Royals this season. They have really picked it up, not only in the runs, but home runs have been coming a little bit more often for this team lately too. So we'll see what they can do here against Lair, as it'll be Garrett Takamatsu, Matthew Ward, and Jordan Gallo. The offering. That'll go in for a strike.
Not only is it the heart of the order, but some of the more powerful hitters in the Royals lineup, most notably Takamatsu and Gallo.
1 ball, 1 strike here on tack. And just consistently been the best hitter for the Royals all season long. He has been the one that's been stirring the drink for this team. 347 average, 33rd appearance of the year. There's a swing and a miss. Though he spent a lot of time as the DH in the last few weeks, particularly after the All-Star Showdown.
And in a season where some of the more reliable guys on this roster, J.D. Williams, Andy Leader, are starting to fall behind in terms of stats, in terms of strikeouts.
That one missing at the corner.
For Takamatsu to pick up the slack, really captain this team forward, help push them up into, well, now 6th place. That is really, really impressive and shows the caliber of player that he is. Just 25 years old, former MVP.
That one missing upstairs.
And still plenty of baseball left in him.
Well, again, when you look at that season series and just the 4 games that these two teams have played all year, that one goes down the line, foul. I mean, it's kind of a mishmash in terms of run differential. I mean, you said it on the overall, but when you break it down game per game, I mean, there was a 10-4 win here for Welland back on June 10th. 5 days later, Welland wins at home just 1-0 in a pitcher's duel, to say the very least. 13-8 back on July 10th, and then the last meeting it was 6-1 for the Fish. So again, a little bit of a mismatch where a couple of games got out of hand for the Royals. A couple of games where they really hung in there against the league leaders.
Yeah, steady signs of improvement as the season series has gone on. Either scoring more runs or...
That'll be flared high and deep into center field, and the catch is made by Gio Morello, 1 down.
Yeah, looking back at that season series, the Royals have really made some improvements over the last few games. Either scoring more runs against this very tough Jackfish opposition or allowing less. I mean, giving up 6 to the league leaders is, well, it's pretty good.
Well, here's Matthew Ward coming in to play here today, batting .267 on the year as he takes one upstairs for ball 1. Since the arrival of Kaner Pena and Franklin Torres, he's been playing a little bit of infield, but kind of in and out of the lineup as he looks to take some swings here tonight as he gets the assignment in behind home plate. That one missing on the outside. Mullen tried to frame that one. Lair thought he had it, but it's a hitter's count, 3-0 here for Ward. And he'll take the walk with 1 away.
And no doubt about that one. Ward picking up his 20th walk of the season, as that'll get him on base for the young third baseman, Jordan Gallo. Big tough bat, committed to Connors State, coming up in the fall. Entering tonight's contest, the 18-year-old is batting .280, 9 runs cashed in, 14 hits, and 8 RBIs. For a young guy, he's got great vision. 10 walks in the season so far.
Well, that contributes to that on-base percentage, sitting at .419 as he sits on the first pitch for strike one as it catches the inside edge. Pulled up into the zone by Mullen, but not going to get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Of course, Royals fans may remember that 3 of his 8 RBIs came in an absolute, no doubt, 3-run home run in one of Gallo's very first games with these Royals. He's got a lot of promise. He's got a big bat and veteran's vision up there at the plate, something you don't see in a lot of younger players who are a little more swing happy, if you will.
Call up from the Mississauga Tigers program, the 2-1. Hold off on the swing, but it goes across anyway for strike 2.
Lair really taking his time in between pitches.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3 as Gallo ends up going down, swings underneath the baseball.
And that pitch started low, almost a 6-12. Started low, swooped high, and Gallo just couldn't see it coming.
Well, here comes Ethan Hammond, the left fielder. And on base, sitting at .331 on the year. An average that you'd like to see be a little bit higher if you're Ethan Hammond. But, you know, guys like him, no more for the defense, if anything. The delivery, that one goes across for strike 1.
That being said, he has had a very solid year offensively. 26 hits, 19 RBIs to his name. Has contributed a lot more to this Royals team.
Stretches out there as that'll be ball 1.
He's been able to step up in big moments for them, becoming a regular in the starting lineup.
The offering is going to be sent foul. Hammond hitting .300 in the month of August, 3 for 10 in those 3 games that he has played.
Should he get on base, it is right fielder Carson Burns waiting in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, started on the listing as the infielder, as a throw into second base on line, but he is safe. As Ward gets a good jump, Mullen didn't get to his feet at all, and he still had enough power in that arm to get it over to second base, but just not in time.
Now we talk about pitchers' duels being a thing. I really want to keep an eye on this catcher's duel tonight. 2 guys with absolute cannons, great defensive abilities. See how they can almost outdo each other as this game goes on.
Full count here on Hammond. Check over to second base. The delivery upstairs, ball 4, and Hammond will get on.
And that's something Lair's done up against the last 3 batters. Ward, Gallo, and now Hammond. He's gone higher on the payoff pitches, the 2 strike counts. He's tried to get them swinging high, whereas Brandon Deans likes to swing low. Something to keep an eye on as this one progresses. Very 2 sides of the same coin, just those little adjustments.
Well, here's Carson Burns hitting .227 on the year as he takes one in for strike 1. No home runs, 5 RBI. Another guy that's been kind of in and out of the lineup all season long. The 0-1. Foul back. Burns into his 22nd game of the season. First appearance since July 19th, so the first time he's been in the lineup with the revamped roster, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. So we are through 2 here at Hastings, and the Guelph Royals trail the Welland Jackfish 1-0 here on Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution.
The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to Royals TV. We're getting set for the third inning here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The Jackfish, the heart of the order, due up for them. Gio Morello, Mateo Porcelato, and James Smybert due up to take on Brandon Deans, who has given up 5 hits, and obviously the one earned run off the bat of Robert Mullen, who put one deep into left field.
Dean's now up to 50 pitches in this appearance. Look to limit that as his afternoon or evening goes on.
That one missing on the, that one actually clipping the outside edge for strike one. Dean's quickening the pace a bit. He was looking for that outside edge again, but just missed. It was a big inning where he had 31 pitches in the second. Morello drops the bunt down, but it's going to go into foul ground.
Deans seems to have, for lack of a better term, relapsed into relying on putting fastballs down and away against these Jackfish batters, trying to get chase pitches instead of dealing with them straight on, trying to battle around them instead of battling with them.
The 1-2 upstairs. Well, so wonder what kind of Brandon Deans we're going to get here tonight. You know, he had that big start on July 19th, has one appearance since then. That was on the 2nd of August, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 3. And that is K number 2 for Brandon Deans.
The right fielder, number 10.
You know, he has been effective in his last 2 appearances. Had a rough 2 innings against London on July 12th. Same with his appearance on June 29th at Chatham-Kent. So, you know, he's had a couple of rough outings, but, you know, more often than not has come out to pitch and has been counted on for multiple innings each time, as Porcelato gets a piece of that one.
And something that I've liked watching and calling Royals games across this season is he changes how he approaches each team in each individual game. He doesn't keep the same strategy from game to game. Likes to change things up.
That'll miss on the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Porcelato, a single back in the first. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
And now we're starting to see Deans elevate that fastball, bringing it up into the zone instead of down and away. Getting some swings and misses here.
The 1-2, that one's put into foul ground. Right into the beer garden here at Hastings.
As we see a handful of pitchers not warming up, but just kind of waltzing around out there in the Royals bullpen.
Well, remember, there's a couple of Royals that still need to qualify as there's strike 3 on Porch. 3 swinging strikeouts for Brandon Deans.
First baseman,
Yeah, when
number
you look
5,
at the
James Smyber.
when you look at the stats for the Royals that still need to qualify, Claudio Custodio has his 10 innings, but he needs 2 more appearances. Antonio Frias has 10 innings as well, same thing, but has 2 more appearances to go, as that'll go in for strike 1. Kyle Thomas needs 5 innings and 2 appearances.
Andrew Case, 7 innings and 2 appearances.
Yeah, there's a whole long list, and there's not much time left. There's strike number 2 here on James Smybird. He struck out his last time up. So, don't be surprised if you see a guy come in, even if it's just for three batters. The 0-2, that one missing downstairs.
And that is one of the risks when you try and revamp your bullpen and your pitching staff so late into the season, but the Royals, they plan ahead. So I have no doubt in my mind that we will see all of those pitchers and maybe even a few more as we head into the postseason.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The delivery. Chopper. Over to first base. In time, and they get the out. Smybert coming down the line, and that's just a good force out there as everybody played their roles perfectly. As we head to the home half of the 3rd inning, Brandon Deans with a quick 1-2-3, much needed after a long 2nd inning of work.
Just a reminder, you can run the bases at
And that's
the end
kind
of
of
this inning.
been the story with Brandon Deans as of late.
By the Royals dugout.
Struggles for an inning or 2, and then bounces back. He uses those issues, those inconsistencies to really fuel him, to drive him forward, to challenge batters a little more aggressively, as we saw there in that last inning, getting some more swings and misses higher up in the zone instead of down and away chase pitches. And obviously, the strategy is working for him.
Well, we're getting set here for the Royals. They will send Leader, Torres, and Morrow to the plate here in the 3rd. And, got to start getting some hits here on Lair. They got the 1 so far off of them. They've also gotten a couple of walks, so you're seeing the patience. But what we have known from these Royals in the last few games especially is, trying to get back to baseball and trying to get it out into the outfield.
Well, it's the fundamentals that'll win you the games. It's textbook stuff that'll take you the distance. Simple hits, nothing flashy, nothing fancy. Singles. Singles are what get the job done, even doubles. They may not look fancy on paper or on broadcast, but those are what can get you those wins that'll help push you higher up heading into the postseason.
Well, here's Andy Leader to lead things off here for the Royals. As he's had a little bit of a rough season, to say the very least, compared to his all-star years with the Kitchener Panthers and even last season. But a guy that, steady Eddie in the outfield. That'll go down for ball 1.
He's a good, solid hand, a 3-time All-Star for a reason. Reliable on the defensive end of things. Offense takes a little bit to get him going, but when he does,
number 42 down the line, foul.
when he does a lot of damage.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes. The offering way outside as Mullen. Good job to pull that one back in, although nobody on base anyway.
No harm, no foul, but That's what we mentioned off the top, just working those muscles.
Did he go around? No, he did not. Appeal over to first, and Guthrow says you're clean. As the Ballflowers from London apparently have made the trip, as there's swing and a miss for strike 3. Third strikeout of the ball game for Layer.
That is going to flip things over to the top of the order.
Your second baseman, number
Second baseman Franklin Torres.
Torres.
Mentioned the tear that he's been on since returning to the Royals, but hasn't quite gotten off to the same hot start here in this game, flying out to right field in his first at-bat.
Well, what you really like to see is just the contact made, as that one misses on the outside for ball 1. At the very least, you flare that one into right field. You're making contact with the baseball. You're timing it properly with the pitches from Layer. You can't really ask for more than that, as there's a big swing and a miss.
Yeah, that's the thing. To be able to make contact with a pitcher of Layer's caliber, it's something to recognize.
That one's popped up. Smybert on the foul territory on the other side of first base. He'll make the catch. And just like that, there's 2 away here for Connor Morrow.
Morrow has been a defensive dynamo so far for the Royals, but
Your shortstop, number 6.
also came up on the offensive side of things back in the first inning of play. Got a single, but got caught stealing in the end. Picked off by the cannon behind the dish.
Well, Morrow into that 2-hole, as that'll go across for a strike. You look at the averages around him. I mean, starting to pick it up a little bit more, hitting a 265 clip. That one missing downstairs, and I mean, the guys around him too. I mean, you think about Torres now hitting 567, Takamatsu 344, 286 for Pena. Really reliant on Morrow in that 2 spot. A guy that, maybe the average dipped down a little bit to start the season, but has really picked things up lately. Went 0 for 3 last night, had a 3-game hitting streak going for him. As that one's put high, deep to right field. Porchelato gets underneath it. He'll make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. As we are through 3 here at Hastings, and the Welland Jackfish have a 1-0 lead. Here on Royals TV, let's send it down to field level as the kids get to run the bases here on a Saturday night. Welcome back inside Hastings Stadium here in Guelph. Robert Mullen, Grayson Barrett, Thomas Green due up for the Welland Jackfish, who have a 1-0 lead. Mullen, the responsible party for that lone run, his 11th home run of the season, his last at bat, the only scoring in this game so far. Dean's on the bump yet again as he pitches one inside for ball one.
As mentioned before, a couple pitchers up and roaming around in the Royals bullpen.
That one missing upstairs.
No activity just yet.
Well, again, we look at the qualification for the playoffs, and hearing Andrew Case will get the start tomorrow against Brantford. The 2-0, that one paints the inside edge for a strike. Down the line, that is a foul ball. Mullen just getting a piece of it.
That's what I mentioned earlier with Deans, that his strategy is ever evolving. He approaches, even within self-contained games, he approaches batters differently the second time up, pitching a lot more inside to Mullen, where he left things out over top of the plate in his first time up, leading to that home run.
The 2-2, that one's flared back. Again, Welland after tonight. Just the 3 games remaining, 2 of them at home before wrapping it up in Kitchener on Sunday, August 17th. That's a chopper, foul. Hosts Kitchener on Thursday, and then hosts Chatham-Kent on Saturday. So 2 of their final 3 games against the Panthers, and a big matchup against the Barnstormers, who have really picked things up as of late. Here comes the 2-2. Cranked high, and it's going to stay in the ballpark. Ethan Hammond comes over to make the catch in left field. Got in on the hands of Robbie Mullen there and didn't nearly get as much power as he did in his last at-bat.
Not at all. He was almost hesitant to swing there. And that goes back to what I was saying of Dean's changing his strategy up. Okay, putting things out over top of the plate. Didn't quite work out the first time up. Send things a little more inside. Jam him up. Get him to take those slow little stopped-up swings.
There's a swing and a miss from Grayson Barrett for strike 1. Hit a single back in the second. Chopper in the infield, grabbed there by Tack, and he'll just get over and tag the bag. And there's 2 down.
Dean's retiring 5 straight Jackfish batters. Again, it all goes back to him being able to rebound, to use inconsistencies and errors as fuel to the fire, to just improve, to keep changing up those strategies, to take different approaches until he finally finds something that works. And I've got to say, partner, I think he's found his groove right about now.
That one missing at the knees for Thomas Green. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning. And there's a strike.
Should Green get on base? Both Brendan Luther and Brandon Hupe are waiting in the wings. Got my Brendans and my Brandons mixed up there.
Here comes the 1-1. That one right across for a strike. Took a little bit off of that pitch, did Deans, messing up the timing of Mr. Green. Fouls that one right off the front of the grandstand here.
Just by the sound of it, you can tell that's going to leave a dent. And that's really just a testament to the power that Green has brought to this Jackfish team. Mentioned his 10 home runs, 6 RBIs in the season so far.
That went into the dirt.
standout in the NCAA with Oakland University and most notably at Purdue. Across 3 seasons, 250 batting average, 80 runs scored, and over 100 hits.
Good block there by Ward. Looked a little bit shaken up, but it looks like he's all right.
And Green taking a little time outside to collect himself. A few practice swings.
Spent last year with Trois Riviere. The 3-2. Did he hold up? Yes, he did. Appeal over to first. Mike Guthrow says, take that bag, young man. 2 away, and there's a runner on.
That is going to bring up Brendan Luther.
Shortstop number 20, Brendan Luther.
25-year-old. Comes to the Jackfish with plenty of baseball experience already under his wings. The Okotoks Dogs out in the WCBL last season batted .368, 56 hits, and a very impressive 30 RBIs.
First team All-Star with them. The 2024 WCBL West Team All-Star, as that one's put out of play. Bellevue University alum in his first year as Jackfish. You know, they're almost like the Pittsburgh Steelers of old, where it's a team that they don't do a full-on reset. They just retool from year to year. They'll lose a couple of players, but they'll bring in a couple of quality players as well. The runner's going to go, throw into second base, and he got him. Ward guns down Thomas Green at second, and that's going to do it for the inning.
For Welland, no runs.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about, partner, when I say that this game may end up being a pitcher's duel, but my eye is a little more on the catcher's duel. So defensively sound are Ward and Mullen. 2 halves, well, 2 sides of the same coin, I should say. Getting my metaphors a little mixed up, but that's how impressive these 2 have been. So much so that I'm at a loss for words. Both of them, a cannon for an arm. Both of them so good at blocking, at covering up balls down in the dirt, and always keeping an eye on any runners on the base paths. 2 elite level catchers going head-to-head tonight.
Well, that's the second time Green has been gunned down over at second base, as Ward has really had his number tonight. And, maybe just needs to work on just kind of, hiding, whether he's on the run or not. Although he was way off on the pitch. And just I think that was just more of Ward getting the jump and just a hard throw over to second right on line.
As well, and now going through the motions, tossing a few practice balls, practice pitches, and you can really feel a sense of confidence emanating from this team. Very casual in their approach to warming up. Like it's nothing for these guys, and when you're the pennant-winning team, you can have that behavior, but up against these revamped Royals, I'd pay a little more caution.
Well, here is Kaner Pena to lead things off. The delivery right at the knees for strike 1. Well, the Jackfish organization will be the first to tell you, yes, pennants are nice. Home field advantage in the playoffs all throughout. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. But they've only got 1 championship to show for it, obviously losing in the second round to Guelph a year ago. Keep in mind, too, even before the three-peat of pennants, the year before that, they were actually tied for the league lead in wins with, I believe it was Barrie and Guelph, and actually got relegated to third based on all the tiebreakers that factored in. So this is a team that's been up the top of the standings for 4 years straight. But again, of the last 3 seasons, just the 1 championship, and you know that they want to change that in a hurry. Pena 0 for 1. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Lair gets him. And that is the 4th strikeout for Euclides Lair.
Lair usually racks up the strikeouts. As we mentioned in his last start, had 9 of them out in the Steel City. So for him to just be at 3 throughout the game so far is, I don't want to say impressive, but impressive from the Royals so far to really hold their own against one of the top pitchers in the IBL.
Tack will take for strike 1 on the outside edge. Yes, indeed, among the league leaders. That one is right on over to Green, over to first, and in time. They'll tag Takamatsu as the throw from Green took Smybert off the bag.
Yeah, Smybert quite literally pirouetting back into place, able to make the tag on Takamatsu. Almost got in his way there, but that throw spun him around, quite literally.
Oh, it's NFL preseason. We almost saw a linebacker just take down Smybert on the base path there as Takamatsu was charging through, and he didn't care if there was someone in front of him. So here is Matthew Ward. He walked in his only appearance here tonight.
Up to 20 in that category for the season. Not afraid to swing, though. 28 hits to his name.
That one missing on. That one actually clipped the outside edge for a strike.
Credit where credit is due. Mullen also did a good job of framing that one up on these 50 pitches. That's something he's so good at.
There's a swing and a miss.
Same does go for Ward. Yet another quality that both these two catchers share.
Should be noted that Lair isn't among the qualifying pitchers when it comes to the league leaders. Although, 1.99 ERA as that one's laced foul. 5 appearances, 5 starts rather, 12 appearances overall. In order to qualify, you need a minimum 1.25 innings pitched per team game. I think he's just short of that. The 1-2. Is that one missing downstairs?
And again, the attempt to peel up to Mike Guthrow over at first base, and Guthrow completely no-sold it.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 as Lair now up to 5 strikeouts. He has retired the last 7 Royals batters, and we're through 4 here at Hastings. As Robert Mullen's home run is the only difference maker in this ball game. It is the Jackfish 1, the Royals no score here on Royals TV. Welcome back to Royals TV in the broadcast booth here in Guelph. We are through to the 5th inning, and Brandon Dean's day is done. Owen Newman, the junior call-up, steps in onto the hill here for the Guelph Royals to face the Welland Jackfish, who have a 1-0 lead.
The 19-year-old Mississauga man throwing .592 entering tonight's contest. 8 games, 13 innings pitched.
That'll go in for a strike.
7 strikeouts, 6 walks to his name. 2 wins and a loss on his record. Fairly balanced, promising stuff shown from a junior player.
Luther puts one high and deep to center field. Leader tracking it, gets in front of it, right in front of the warning track. He makes the catch.
And Leader, had me fooled up here in the booth. He just kind of stood there for a good 2 seconds, letting that one sail up, and then chose to chase after it.
Well, he is a veteran out there in center field. He primarily played center with his time with the Kitchener Panthers organization.
No wasted movements out there in center by Leader.
So here's Brandon Hoope. He's 1 for 1 with a single. That one across for strike 1.
In his 2nd year with the Jackfish. Batting .284 entering tonight.
That one missing downstairs. 1-1.
Got a single his first time up. Didn't advance past first, though.
The UBC product batting in the 9 hole here tonight as that one goes into the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, Andrew Case expected to start against Brantford tomorrow. A game against Hamilton here at home on Tuesday nights. The 2-1. That one's fouled back. Just recently put back on the schedule as the Tuesday game is the makeup date for a rainout a couple of Saturdays ago. 2 of the final games against the Hamilton Cardinals, which will be key in deciding the final standings here in the Intercounty Baseball League, with that log jam in between 2nd and 6th. Toronto and Kitchener going back and forth for 7th and 8th, respectively. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Hoope. The delivery. That one's put into center field. Hoope with a hit. He's 2 for 2.
Nothing too flashy about that. I mentioned earlier that's something that the Royals really need to get into a habit of doing and have been doing in their last few games. And Hubei really exemplifying it right there. Just a clean, simple single up the gap into center field.
Back to the top of the order with Jonah Weisner. He's 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs in this game. Right over to Torres. Flips it to second. Over to first. And not in time. Weisner really getting down the line. That'll just go down as a fielder's choice, but an excellent job by Weisner to beat out that throw, ending the double play opportunity.
And we mentioned earlier his 22 stolen bases on the season. No shortage of speed from the 25-year-old. Beats out the throw just barely, but keeps the Jackfish's hopes alive for this inning, for the time being.
So to Gio Morello we go. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a lineout. Although that lineout was spectacular to Connor Morrow as he stretched up right at the shortstop position and just absolutely robbed Morello of a hit. That'll go in for strike 1.
The Royals defense now almost playing in a spot like they're going to try a double play, even though it's not needed here with 2 outs in the inning.
Swing and a miss for strike 2.
Now the simple answer could be there that they're simply looking to get the force out at second, just get out of the inning, get Newman a clean start to his time here in the game.
Newman looks over at first. Here comes the 0-2. Upstairs, and Ward's off Wisner, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count here on Gio. That one missing downstairs, 2-2. Couple of All-Star nods. Of course, he was first-team All-Star back in 2022, second-team All-Star in 2021, was part of the reserve squad for the South team in last year's All-Star game, was there this year too, as that one's laced into left field. It catches an edge at the edge of the grass and just sort of stopped out there. Didn't really roll out too far towards Ethan Hammond, but Gio's able to get on with the base hits.
More of a Hastings halt than a Hastings hop. Yeah, just really lucky with the placement of that one. Just skips off the grass. Wisner was going regardless. He was trying to steal.
And now here comes the home plate umpire. They're going to have a word with the shortstop as well as the two battery mates. And I think this has to do with perhaps where that baseball was hit. More than anything. Maybe it's just a little bit too soft out there.
Could be. We could go on at length about how unpredictable Hastings often is.
Well, here's Mateo Porcelato. He's 1 for 2 with a single.
Newman really taking his time in between these pitches.
That'll go in for ball 1, just missing on the inside. Well, at times it's, you don't have a pitch clock. Take as much time as you need. But at the same time, too, it comes to a point where, you know, you're just trying to throw off the batter. Maybe it's a confidence thing, as that one's laced into right field. Getting the wave home is Wisner, and getting the stop sign is Gio, and it's a 2-0 lead here for Welland as Wisner comes in to score on the RBI single from Mateo Porcelato.
That was just clean, effective, and simple right there from Porcelato. Hitting it opposite field, allowing the run to come in. If he had gotten a little more of it, easily cashing in 2 there, but Jackfish will sell for 1 for now.
And now you have second base open with Porcelato. I have to imagine you might see him steal a base here, or at least attempt to.
It's not out of the question, 22.
You also have to keep an eye on Gio Morello. He can be a stolen base threat, perhaps a double steal attempt, as that'll go in for strike 1 here on Smybert.
You think we'd see Morello try and steal home?
Well, that's what I mean, partner. You have Porcelato on first. You throw into second base. That opens up the opportunity, as that one is flared foul. As again, Morello, he is 7 for 10 on stolen bases this year. So not nearly as many stolen bases as his counterparts in Porcelato and Wisner, but might open up the opportunity for a double steal. That one upstairs, and Ward keeping an eye on first base there. And Porcelato has to retreat.
And there you can see Morello dancing up the line, almost like they're teasing, they're taunting, are the Jackfish. Hinting that, yeah, we could try and pull this off. Let's see you try and counter it. See what they can do here.
Newman gets set. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one's put into left field. No stolen bags needed there as 1 run comes in to score. Throw back into the infield. Runners remain on the corners. And it's back-to-back-to-back singles for the Jackfish, and they have a 3-0 lead.
I really like that approach from the Jackfish, hinting that they may be trying to do something with the runners, almost forcing Newman to put the ball a little closer over the top of the plate, trying to avoid a wild pitch down and in the dirt, leaving it right over top, the heart of the plate. And the Jackfish make the most of it.
That one missing the corner on Robbie Mullen. Again, Mullen with an opportunity here to really put a dent in the Royals' hopes in this game, as that one missing on the outside.
Despite the runners on base, I don't hate this approach to Mullen. We mentioned the power that he brings.
That one missing downstairs. Porcelato on third, Smybird on first. And it's been a lengthy inning here for the Guelph Royals as Jackfish have really poured it on. Chopper. Grabbed there by Gallo. Over to first. Not even going to attempt it. Mullen was already toward the dugout. He knew that that one was just academic. But that really just goes to show you 2 runs come on the board as we head to the home half of the 5th. How big is Jonah Weisner going down the line to prevent that double play?
I mean, that was absolutely perfect. Opposite field, perfectly placed. There's no improvisation or adjustments on the fly there. That was the strategy heading in. Just cash in those runners, send it the furthest away that you can. And it's paid off for him.
Well, and that's the thing, right? What I mean with Weisner is being able to get down the line. It was turning into a clinical 4-6-3 inning-ending double play, but Weisner just put on the Jets, gets down the line, gets on base, and instead of getting out of the inning, the Royals get a little bit of trouble, and 2 runs come in to score here for the Welland Jackfish.
And that goes back to my earlier point about just how well-rounded these Jackfish are. Every single batter in the lineup tonight, and even the few more sitting on the bench, bring excellent contact, perfect power, and just that scary speed. So well-rounded, not to mention the defensive abilities. But really, when every guy on the team is a threat to hit a home run or steal a base, that goes to show you just how dangerous that team is.
Well, Euclides Layer, just 1 hit given up in this game. That was all the way back in the first to Connor Morrow. Since then, he has been nearly perfect. Just a couple of walks, but he's retired 7 straight. And, you know, one thing to really note here as well is, you know, the Royals, it seems like they've been really thrown off by that sidearm delivery from Layer.
The slider that Layer has really gone back to as his punch-out pitch has fooled every Royal up and down the roster, and to be fair, who wouldn't? Such dangerous combination of skill and speed on that slider, making it go 3 to about 8 or 9 right there. Just all over the place.
Well, there is some movement starting in the Jackfish bullpen. As here comes Jordan Gallo. It'll be Gallo, Hammond, and Burns due up here for the Royals. Layer, the delivery. That one right on the outside edge for a strike. Just absolutely killing the Royals with that sidearm delivery and just picking corners left and right. That one just missing. Similar location, but just off the plate that time.
And that's what makes Layer such an interesting and fascinating pitcher to watch. From a sidearm delivery, you usually expect something like the slider that he throws, but for a straight-up fastball, threw in the 2-seamer there to bring it to a 1-2 count. To throw straight-up fastballs, even a couple off-speed pitches from that delivery, is very fun to watch almost. A nice change of pace from what you usually see from sidearm or even submarine-esque pitchers.
Gallo just getting a piece of that last pitch. Stays alive. The 1-2, swing and a miss. He guns him down. 6 strikeouts for Euclides Layer. And every last one of them have been of the swinging strikeout variety.
And it's that slider again and again. And when it's not the slider, it's the fastball. And when it's not the fastball, it's the curveball. And when it's not the curveball, I can go on and on and on. Layer's arsenal of pitches has just had the Royals fooled tonight. And the fact that he's got so many of them from the sidearm position goes to show you just how talented this guy is.
Well, here's Ethan Hammond. He walked his last time up. Layer's pitch count going to cross 70 with this next delivery and eases that one right in for a strike. Took a little bit off when it came to the gas, but great location. Swing and a foul tip into the glove for strike 3, and 7 swinging strikeouts here for Euclides Layer. He's putting himself into player of the week, pitcher of the week conversations with this performance.
And another part of the mystique of Layer is how quick he throws those pitches. Again, the sidearm delivery is really complicated. It takes a lot of motion, takes a lot of time, but for him to pound the strike zone like he does, to throw pitches with such ruthless, quick efficiency like he does, again, all goes back to the level of talent that he brings to this Jackfish pitching staff.
That'll miss for ball 1. And that'll go into the inside edge for a strike. Carson Burns, the batter. He struck out swinging back in the second. We'll have to be careful. A couple of the young ones here at Hastings Stadium have made their way onto the track. That is technically in play on that track.
It's probably the only negative aspect of a fantastic crowd here at Hastings tonight.
The 2-2, that one's flying high into foul ground. Smyber getting underneath it. Calls off everybody, and he makes the catch in foul ground. As Euclides Layer has now retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight. I believe that's 8 straight.
Looks like that to me, partner.
No, actually, that's in 10 straight now. Hasn't had anybody on base since the walk issued to Ethan Hammond back in the second inning. Layer has been El Fuego here tonight. It is a 3-0 Jackfish lead as we head to the 6th here at Hastings. Welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here on a Saturday night as Grayson Barrett floats one into the stratosphere, but it goes out of play. Barrett 1 for 2. A single and a ground out on his ledger here tonight. Royals giving up 2 runs in that last inning. And again, just goes to show you the difference legging out a possible double play can make, as that one's put off the front of the grandstands here at Hastings. Weisner ends up reaching, beating out a double play opportunity. Keeps the inning alive for the Jackfish, and they end up scoring 2 runs because of it.
Well, we talk about all the other qualities that the Jackfish bring to the table. Their tenacity often goes overlooked. Really able to build themselves back up, take the fight to teams as the game goes on, and make the most of tough situations.
That one's fouled by Barrett. It goes off of Ward's mask. He's just going to take a moment here as Ryan Herron will just deliver the baseball right on over to Owen Newman. Brandon Dean started this ball game. He went 4 innings, struck out 3, gave up 1 run on 5 hits. A little bit of commotion down the left field side in the Royals bullpen. The 1-2. That'll stay in play. In the infield, a mile high. Ward gets to it, and he makes the catch! Matthew Ward on the second opportunity makes the grab.
Never have I seen a play like that, partner. Bobbles it out of his glove and uses the bare hand while falling down onto the grass here at Hastings. Have yourself a night, young man.
So 1 down here for Thomas Green. Green is 0 for 1. That'll go in for ball 1.
Newman's really seems to have settled in on there on the mound, shaking off some of the early nerves.
That'll miss inside, or outside rather. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not quite a discernible strategy. Seems to be relying on his fastballs, both 4 and 2 seams. See what he can make of this 1-1 count.
That'll miss inside, as Newman was looking for that top corner inside.
Royals defense playing about as straight up as they can get, but leaving a massive gap up the middle, something the Jackfish have exploited before.
Hit on over to Morrow. Over to first, in time. And Green is retired, 2 away.
I just want to go back to that play by Ward. Words don't do it justice. That is something that you won't see from any other catcher here in the IBL. Very few, I will adjust my statement, very few other catchers, perhaps Robert Mullen included, can make a play like that.
I mean, Robert Mullen. You have Junior Ibarra over in Kitchener, who is very stout as a defensive catcher. Here's Brendan Luther. Luther flies one high into left field. Hammond will get underneath it, and he will make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the 6th here at Hastings, and the Welland Jackfish still with that 3-0 lead.
Well, we saw some activity in the Jackfish bullpen. I doubt they pull the trigger just yet with the kind of night that Lair is having. We have seen, quite a few pitchers going up and down the line, heading into that bullpen. Oh, and it does look like it's going to be a call to the bullpen. Euclides Lair, impressive as it has been, his night is done.
Well, we'll see who comes into the ball game here for the Jackfish. Looks like it is Big Ben Abram that will come in.
25-year-old in his third year with the Welland Jackfish enters tonight's contest pitching .343 on the season across 10 games, has a monstrous 60 innings pitched, 6 wins, 2 losses to his name, singular, 52 strikeouts compared to, get this, 8 walks on his season so far. The hits have been a little more of a struggle for him, giving up 58 in the season so far, but about as reliable as they come is Ben Abram.
Reason why he is the ace of that pitching staff. Although you could argue that Tio Ortega is also up there too, but again, Big Ben Abram, just his second relief appearance of the season. 3.43 ERA.
Now pitching for Welland, number 17, Bren Abrams.
And that goes back to that well-rounded aspect of the Jackfish. It doesn't stay with their on-field players. It extends to their bullpen, to their pitchers. I mean, you have guys, Ben Abram, who on any other team would be their ace, their number 2 guy, really high up in that rotation. But no, here he is coming out of the bullpen. And like you mentioned, partner, so many names on that list that could fill the proverbial ace role for the Jackfish, when most of your rotation and bullpen could be aces on any other team. Shows the depth, the talent that the Jackfish have assembled. And as you mentioned earlier, not exactly rebuilding year to year, just retooling.
I think if anything right here is you're going to have Ben Abram come in just to get a couple of innings of work. Because again, you're just looking to get him fresh for the playoffs. You'll probably see him start in one of the final games coming up, likely against Kitchener on Thursday. As again, with the Jackfish wrapping up first place, now is the time where you're getting guys just continuously warmed up and ready to go for the playoffs, but also you're just trying to set your starting rotation in place, and Ben Abram could likely be a Game 1 starter for this team. Again, you can mix in, Ortega and Lair. All three of them are great options battling for that Game 1 start as Andy Leader laces one into center field, a base hit. But what this does, too, is that that sidearm delivery from Lair is out of the way, which was giving the Royals nothing but fits in this ball game. Now you go to Big Ben. Very different pitcher. The quality is there, but the delivery is a lot different, and we'll see if that plays a hand into how this game ends up.
It's a lot more traditional compared to Lairs, where with that sidearm, you expect sliders, but he was mixing in fastballs, curveballs, changeups. With Ben Abram, what you see is what you get.
Chopper. That'll go foul. As here is Franklin Torres. He went 0 for 2 against Lair. But Big Ben, he had a big outing back on the 2nd of August, his last start. It was in that 15-1 shellacking of the Barrie Baycats. And I think in that one, that was just more of, hey, Welland lost 4 straight at home. Just trying to put any naysayers to bed right there, making a statement against one of the top teams in the IBL with a 15-1 win. And Abram just, lights out 7 innings of work, just 3 hits given up, the 1 run as well. The 0-1, that one missing way inside. Torres gets out of the way. But since before that, too, a little bit rocky. Abram, pitched in that game on August 2nd, but before that, didn't pitch since the game against Chatham-Kent the night before the All-Star Showdown. As that chopper's going to go to Wisner. Flips it for 1. Over to first in time, and they turn the double play.
And you can see both Torres and Leader shifted into a different gear, trying to beat out the respective throws, but no dice there. The defensive engine of the Jackfish just keeps motoring on.
So here is Connor Morrow. He's 1 for 2. Abram, the delivery. That'll go across for strike 1.
And you can see Green over there at third, initially playing a little more on the infield grass, trying to prevent a bunt attempt. Now spacing back about halfway between the two separate grasses.
The 0-1, chopper. Luther getting to it on the shortstop on the hop over to first in time. And Abram erases the single, and he faces the minimum in the 6th. We're on to 7 here at Hastings, and the Royals trail by 3 to the Welland Jackfish. Stay with us. You're watching Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to Hastings Stadium here in Guelph. And Nelson Mercado will come into the ballgame here for the Guelph Royals. Third pitcher for the Royals here tonight.
Mercado, the Brampton man, 6.46 ERA entering tonight's contest. Across 13 games played, has 23 innings pitched. The walk has been a bit of an issue, issuing 17 of those throughout his season so far, but the K has been his strong suit, 30 entering tonight.
Hoope getting out of the way of that first delivery from Mercado. More than qualified for the postseason, as that will go across for strike 1. Hoope 2 for 2, a pair of singles, as the bottom 2 in the order have done some damage with 3 hits in Brendan Luther and Brandon Hoope. The 1-1, that one just missing downstairs and right away from the corner.
Mercado primarily throws fastballs, but loves to switch in sliders and curveballs when the occasion calls for it.
The 2-1. That one's cracked down the line, but it'll go way foul.
And looking back at previous Mercado appearances, his issues seem to come when he places the ball, well, where else? Over the heart of the plate. It's a dangerous spot to leave any ball hanging, especially a off-speed fastball or a hanging curveball.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Hangs it in there. And Hoope is gunned down, swinging. He swings underneath the baseball there.
But his success comes when he tries to get ahead of the hitter, goes inside, goes outside, high and low. As long as he avoids right over top of the dish, well, he is a promising young prospect. One of the best in the IBL.
Well, here's Jonah Wisner. He reached on a fielder's choice. Probably the key to tonight's game was beating out that double play in the 5th. That really put the Jackfish into position to score 2 runs. The 0-1. That one's put into left field down the line, and that's going to go foul by about 3 feet.
Just a little more wind underneath that one, and we could very well have seen it clank off the foul pole out there in left. That's the kind of distance that that swing had. As
Morello trying a little bit of a balancing act there, but don't worry, Cirque du Soleil's calling you, Gio.
it's always important to have backup plans, and should this whole baseball thing fall through for All-Star Gio Morello?
It's all about balance.
Exactly.
It's like catching the grasshopper with the chopsticks. No balls, 2 strikes here on Jonah. The delivery. Another one fouled away. I'm sure you've seen Karate Kid, even though it might be before your time.
Just a little, but
For the record, it's before my time, too.
I'm familiar with it.
And that one will go down the line. Foul yet again, as Jonah Wisner's really been wasting some quality pitches here from Mercado.
And the last 2 fouls that he's had have come off of sliders from Mercado. Mixing in something a little different, a little more technical than the usual heater fastball that he likes to throw. See if he can make it count here.
The 0-2 yet again. He is struck out. Goes on the outside edge, and Wisner just has a couple of words there for Ryan Herron, although I don't think that was just an argument. I don't think that was an argument whatsoever. He just smiled and walked away.
Yeah. A little more pleading his case than trying to start something there.
So here's Gio Morello. He's 1 for 3. Has crossed the plate. Hit that single back in the 5th. Full moon rising here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Here under the lights on a Saturday night. Glad to have you with us. Mercado sets up. That one right down Broadway for a strike.
Mercado loves to space out his deliveries. Make the batter sweat a little bit more, and with the aforementioned arsenal of pitches that he brings to the table, really likes fooling batters.
Ooh, he fooled him there. Gio swinging right through that baseball. It goes right over top of him inside. And he's down to 1 strike remaining.
As the Royals Kingdom starting to rally behind Mercado here.
Here it comes. That one missing upstairs.
That is not a bad pitch to throw in an 0-2 count. Obviously, if things are working in your favor, you're going to want to try and draw a swing, especially if it's up and away.
Fans start to clap. The 1-2. That one's fouled back into the parking lot in behind Hastings Stadium.
And Mercado don't let those stats fool you. He's got what fellow TMU broadcaster Sammy Brzezowski would call the John Gibson effect, where the numbers don't necessarily denote the production, the reliability, and the efficiency of the player.
The 1-2. That one's put into left field, but it's hanging a little too high, and over to make the catch is Ethan Hammond. Another 1-2-3 inning. The Royals have retired 7 straight Jackfish since giving up the last 2 runs. And we are into stretch time here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. And it remains a 3-0 scoreline, the Jackfish leading the Royals. Again, just what you need from your pitching staff after, giving up a couple of big innings, although I say big with the hits, not so much the runs.
No, that's been one of the thorns in the Jackfish side tonight, is not being able to capitalize on those golden opportunities, not being able to get through when it matters most. That's something that's really plagued them throughout this game, and looking back at some of their past games, something they've really been really good at, something they've been efficient at, is cashing in as many runs as they can. But tonight, something seems a little different. I wouldn't say that the Royals have their number, but they've got the first few digits. They're starting to get there, starting to get a read on what these Jackfish have to offer, and the pitching staff really making those strides, holding them down as much as you can hold the Jackfish down.
Well, Ben Abram had a solid 6th inning. Gave up that single to Andy Leader, but was able to erase it on the 4-6-3 double play. The defense coming through for him on the back end, and obviously Euclides Layer with a great outing. 8 strikeouts, 5 innings of work, and just the 1 hit given up. Not much more you can ask for from your starter if you're the Welland Jackfish.
Not at all, and that goes back to one of our talking points for the Jackfish tonight is they're going to try and get some of these top guys a little more exercise. Get them out, get them stretching, get them limber. Don't force them into big situations. Just let them stay active prior to a big upcoming postseason push.
Well, here's Kaner Pena. First pitch he sees, puts that one into left center, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Kaner Pena with his first hit of the ball game.
And his 7th on the year. And despite his bulkier frame, has also come around to score 7 times. Says not quite the lethal first step of an Andy Leader or J.D. Williams, but knows when to turn on the jet, saves his energy for the moments that matter most. And if that scoreline is any indication, this could very well be a big moment in this contest, partner.
So here is Garrett Takamatsu. He is 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out, as they try to get to Big Ben here in the 7th. That one missing downstairs. Was looking for that bottom corner, but just unable to get it that time.
Takamatsu yet to reach base in this game. As mentioned before, has really been driving the Royals forward as of late.
The 1-0, that one missing downstairs. Now, Tak coming in on a great run. He has a 4-game hitting streak on the line. He has hits in 8 of his last 9 outings, and that includes that 1-for-3 performance as a member of Team South at the IBL All-Star Showdown. Abrams sets up the 2-0 into the dirt, and Ben starting to lose the strike zone here a little bit.
Yeah, the Royals starting to get in the head of Big Ben Abram. Almost unnerving him up there on the mound. Usually confident, usually composed, starting to show signs of other emotions.
That one gets in there for a strike. And although the streak of hits is only 4, he has been on base in 9 straight ball games. So Tack looking to continue on that track. Chopper floats high, grabbed there by Wisner, and just enough to allow the runner to advance, but Tack is erased on the 4-3.
And not the result the Royals were looking for, but one that they will take. Just one out here in the inning, and already you got a runner up on second base in scoring position, and the heart of the order coming up. And there you can see Takamatsu sharing a couple words of wisdom with Matthew Ward. See if he's got some insider tips and tricks for Ward on how to take advantage of Big Ben Abrams' flustered state.
Well, maybe it's that break that Ben delivered on that last pitch. Just may have caught the bottom of the baseball bat that forced that high bouncer, as that one's fouled away.
Now you can see Ward getting under that pitch, almost swinging upwards with that one.
Either where it is, don't be fooled by those fastballs down the line. It's probably going to be just below belt level. The 0-1. That one's put into right field. Porchelato getting towards it. He'll make the catch. The runner's going to tag, and over to third base very easily is Pena.
Again, not the result the Royals were looking for, but the one that they will take. You now have a runner advanced up to third base, and a confident young kid stepping up to the plate. The Connors State commit, Jordan Gallo.
Well, he has struck out twice in this ball game, both of them when he was facing Euclides Layer. Now let's see what he can do against Ben Abram. That one missing inside. Gallo getting reset. Here comes the 1-0. Didn't bite. And it's a 2-0 count.
Not taking the bait on that one, and for such a young guy, he's got aforementioned veteran's vision. 10 walks on the season so far. Really has a good read right out of the pitcher's glove.
There's a swing and a miss for strike one. Batting .350 against right-handed batters this year.
He has been very reliable in his sporadic appearances for the Royals in this season. 14 hits, 8 RBIs to his name.
The 2-1, chopper down the line, grabbed there on the hop by Smybird, and he'll get to first base cleanly, and that'll do it. So the single from Kaner Pena goes for naught, and the Royals still trail by 3 here to the Jackfish as we head to the 8th. Stay with us. This is Royals TV. Welcome back to Royals TV as we get set for the 8th inning of play. The Royals trailing the league-leading Jackfish by a score of 3-0. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman here with you. 4 games in the IBL tonight. One of them has already gone final. Barrie beating Kitchener 4-1 earlier on today. And you take a look at the standings now. Kitchener now falling to 16-24 on the year as they fall back, or 16-23 on the season. They fall a half game back of Toronto for 8th place, as they put themselves back in a position to face the Jackfish in the first round of the playoffs. The other 2 games ongoing, although Toronto losing at Christie Pitts 8-3 to Hamilton in the top of the 5th. So a loss by Toronto would put Kitchener back into 7th place in the IBL. And the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers with a 12-2 lead on the Brantford Red Sox. That in the bottom of the 7th. The Barnstormers can put themselves into a tie for 3rd with the London Majors with a win tonight. The 1-1, swing and a miss by Porcelato, as Nelson Mercado still on the bump for the Royals. Again, the Hamilton Cardinals with a win. They'd put themselves with a little bit more distance on the Royals for that 5th spot in the standings. The 1-2 to Port, swing and a miss, strike 3. Porcelato gunned down, swinging. 1 down here in the 8th.
And that's what Mercado does so effectively. When he avoids the heart of the plate, he cannot be touched. High, low, inside, outside, it does not matter. Nelson Mercado is going to make you pay. The fastball, the slider, the changeup, the curve, 4-seamer, 2-seamer, it doesn't matter.
So here's James Smybert. He's 1 for 3. Hit a single his last time up. Swings and misses for strike 1. And that is another one of those baseballs that just fooled Smybert there. He swung underneath it.
Yeah, took a big hack at that one. Was fooled all the way.
The 0-1. That one missing at the Ningas.
Royals continuing to play a traditional defensive setup, leaving a big gap up the middle.
That one's popped up. Morrow going for a run, although he's going to be called off. Hammond getting underneath that, he'll make the catch.
And usually we call that the Bermuda Triangle when you got 3 guys chasing after it. Now we had 4 going after it all at the same time. Usually that ends in disaster, but Hammond was calling for it all the way. Comes up big for the Royals there with that one.
So here comes big Robbie Mullen, 1 for 3 with a home run. He opened the scoring back in the 2nd. It has been a very low-scoring game, and again, we've seen it all throughout this season series. A couple of games that got way out of hand, a couple of games that were rather low-scoring. Remember, there was a 1-0 final between these 2 teams earlier this season. It's the pitching has come out to play here on a Saturday night. The 0-1 to Robbie, and Robbie sends one a long way, high and deep, but getting underneath it in front of the warning track is Ethan Hammond. And that is another 1-2-3 inning as the pitcher's duel continues here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The Royals have now retired 10 straight batters, and it remains a 3-0 ball game. And the Royals will set the bottom of the order up. And Pedro de los Santos is going to come out to pitch for the Welland Jackfish.
De los Santos officially on his 3rd team this season. Started the year off rostered in Kitchener, then signed with the Red Sox, and has now found his way to the Welland Jackfish. Entering tonight's contest with the Welland Jackfish, has a 0.000 ERA across 3 games, has 3 innings pitched, has given up 1 hit, has walked 0 batters, and has struck out 4. And that's building off an already impressive campaign that he started with Brantford, I should say.
Yeah, no team in Brantford, partner. In Brampton, partner.
There you go. .477 ERA across 10 games, had 37 innings pitched, 2 wins to his name, 44 strikeouts, and just 14 walks in that time span. So no matter what team he's on, he has had a very impressive 2025 campaign, racking up the strikeouts, limiting hits and walks. Though that ERA, especially earlier on in the season with the Red Sox, could have been a little lower, he's more than made up for it with that 0-0 across 3 games in the green and white.
And this is an opportunity for him to win another ring. 1-2 with the London Majors in 21 and 22. He didn't get the breaks that he wanted to in 23 with the Majors, as London was eliminated in the first round. Goes to Kitchener, who has those 10 starts and really tries to shore up that starting rotation. And then 2025 starts, moves over to Brantford. And knowing that Brantford is probably not in position to win a championship, they do the good thing and give him an opportunity to try to win a ring with the top-ranked team in the league. But it's not going to be easy, as there is a lot of parity in the Inter-County Baseball League this year, as he would know full well, as he has been in the IBL for quite a while. Started his career back in 2017 with the Toronto Maple Leafs, played 3 seasons with them before turning over to London after the pandemic. Had a phenomenal 2021 season, going 7-2. He and Owen Boone were just phenomenal that year for a stacked London team. So here's Ethan Hammond. That'll go inside for ball 1. And another thing to note here is that now you're facing the lefty, so another different look here for the Guelph Royals against the Welland Jackfish. You have the sidearm from Layer, the more traditional Ben Abram, and now the lefty from Pedro. As that paints the inside edge for a strike, and Hammond doesn't look too pleased.
And it's rapid fire from De Los Santos, hammering those pitches in with ruthless aggression.
The 1-2, chopper. Smyber gets to it, tags the bag, 1 down. And that'll bring up Carson Burns, hitting .333 against lefties this year. 5 for 15. All of them singles, but a guy that gets on base a little bit more often against lefty pitching.
Hasn't been able to reach base yet tonight. See if he can reverse his fortunes here.
Howman misses downstairs.
As Green playing practically on top of the infield grass, trying to prevent a bunt.
That one misses.
Actually gets away from Mullen, but no harm, no foul, no runners on base, so just a simple ball here.
Here comes the 2-0. Howen missing inside, and it's a hitter's count here for Carson Burns. He's 0 for 2.
As the crowd still out in full force tonight, showing their support for the home side.
And that one's going to clunk Burns on the arm, and he's going to take the base. Just gets away from Pedro.
Yeah, off the unprotected elbow. And you can tell Burns he's a little shaken up. Shaken, not stirred, as he will stay in the game.
So here comes Andy Leader. He's 1 for 2. The delivery. More of an excuse me swing there for strike 1. Leader knew that one was inside the hole pretty much by the time it reached the plate, but he swung anyway. A little bit more success against lefties, though, is Andy. Chopper. Green for 1. Over to first, and that's going to skip out of play, and Leader's going to get to second.
think that's the kind of swing that's emblematic of how Leader's season has gone up to this point. Something he shouldn't be swinging at, but does so anyways. This time, the gamble comes up big. The risk turns into a reward. Though another out is added to the tally, 2 outs now, you do have a runner in scoring position and a chance to break that big bagel up there on the board.
So back to the top of the order with Franklin Torres, yet to get a hit tonight. And that'll go across Broadway for strike 1, right at belt level.
And what I've seen from De Los Santos is there's no rhyme or reason to where or how he's going to place his pitches. You don't know where he's going to strike, and that makes him so dangerous.
And another one goes in for a strike. Just low, under belt level this time.
Torres none too pleased with that call. Shaking his head, kicking at the dirt, but the result stands.
Pedro de la Fuego unafraid, attacking the strike zone. There's a chopper over to Weisner. Gets it on the hop, over to first in time, and that'll retire the side. So the Royals struggling to put runners across the plates, and it remains a 3-0 lead as we head to the 9th here at Welcome back to Royals TV. To the top of the 9th we go, and Claudio Custodio comes in for the Guelph Royals. He'll take on Grayson Barrett to lead things off here as the Jackfish continue to hold on to that 3-0 lead. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
Custodio, the 2022 IBL MVP, had an astonishing 196 strikes in that same year. Strikeouts, I should say.
That one sent out of play.
Very quick is Custodio. Leaves very little time for the batters to think.
The 0-2, that one down the line. That is a foul ball. Well, again, Custodio has the innings pitched to qualify for the playoffs, but just needs 2 more appearances. This will be appearance number 4 of 5 that he needs. In fact, he just has to face the minimum 3 batters. It doesn't matter if they get on at this rate. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Custodio K's him.
Well, he'll be looking to rebound from a less than stellar start his last time pitching against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers right here at Hastings. Went 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs across 7 hits, walked just 1 batter and struck out 4, but the damage was done. He hadn't given up an earned run in his previous 2 appearances.
So here's Thomas Green. He is 0 for 2. Hit a ground out his last time up. Custodio the offering. That one's flared high, deep into right field. Too much air underneath it. Burns trying to get over to make the diving catch, but luckily for him, that lands about a foot foul.
He was going for it, though. Switching into a higher gear, chasing after it, and came oh so close to making what would have been a highlight reel catch.
So all of that for an 0-1 count here on Green.
Custodio enters tonight with a 3.60 ERA. Across his aforementioned 3 games, has 10 innings pitched, walked just 2 batters, and has K'd up 11.
And there is a strike right on the inside edge from Custodio.
Now 12 on the season, including tonight, and already looking to make it 13.
Former New York Yankees prospect delivers upstairs. Spent many years in the minor leagues. The Yanks, the Blue Jays as well. Was it with Atlanta and Baltimore's minor league system at 1.2. The 1-2. That one missing inside. Some hard heat there from Claudio as he tries to find that inside edge.
And in a 1-2 count, a count that you control, I don't mind that. Going inside, trying to get a chase, not bad.
That'll go out of play. This at-bat continues from Green. Claudio spent the first part of 2025 in the Mexican League. That's why he only moved over here at the transaction deadline. Waited for his season in Mexico to wrap up. The 2-2. And that's strike 3 as he gets Green looking.
Well, if the Royals were looking to limit the damage, limit the hits that the Jackfish were potentially going to get in this inning, Custodio's your man. Came in, is helping to clean up this 3-0 game.
Should mention that is the only the second non-swinging strikeout for the Guelph Royals here tonight. As that'll go across for strike 1 here on Brendan Luther. You look at the production from Euclides Lair, meantime. A whole lot of swing and misses in his arsenal tonight. As that'll go foul. In fact, not a single strikeout for Ben Abram or Pedro de los Santos so far. 8 strikeouts for Lair. Again, all of them of the swinging strikeout variety. No questioning of the home plate umpire there on location on a strikeout. The 0-2 upstairs. There's been good quality pitching and just getting guys to chase.
Certainly was trying on that last one. Throwing it high above the plate. Trying to draw a swing there, but no dice. See what we can do here on the 1-2.
Here it comes. That one is over to second base. Torres over to first in time. What a play by Franklin Torres. And the Royals have now retired 13 straight Jackfish. But will it be all for naught as we head to the bottom of the 9th here at Hastings Stadium? A 3-0 Royals deficit that they have to overcome. And Davy Mendez will come in to pitch for the Welland Jackfish as he looks for the save.
And that is a sentence that no opposition fan wants to hear. Davy Mendez is coming into the game. The 29-year-old in his 4th season in the IBL, currently entering tonight with a 2.50 ERA across 15 games, has 18 innings pitched, 5 saves to his name, and 22 strikeouts compared to 8 walks on the season so far.
You look at his career, 27 saves in the regular season, 3 of them in the playoffs. He has the IBL record for, I believe it's 12 saves in a season. He had that last year.
Yep, I believe it was last year.
Although Skylar Janice closing in on that one as well, as he has 11 saves for the London Majors. He leads the league. But it kind of just shows you as well as just how many games have gotten out of hand with that runs for the Welland Jackfish this year, where they haven't really had to turn to Davey in save situations at all this season.
They haven't needed to at all, and looking at those numbers, it'd be easy to say that, oh, it's an off year for Davey Mendez. You know, 2.50 ERA, just 22 strikeouts. He's already passed last season's strikeout number, which was 21, en route to those impressive and potentially record-breaking 12 saves. So for him to still be delivering at this high rate while putting up less than expected numbers, again, just adds to this well-oiled machine of dominance that is the Welland Jackfish.
Well, he's not as dominant as he was in the first couple of seasons, to say the very least. Had 2 straight seasons where he had a 0 ERA through 31 appearances in the regular season. Got roughed up in the playoffs a little bit, but not by much. I mean, a 4.50 ERA in his first playoff run in 22, a .93 ERA in 23 when the Jackfish won the title. Now sitting with a 2.50 ERA, making appearance number 16 on the season as that one goes on the inside edge for strike 1. And this is Connor Morrow. And this is the heart of the order up for the Guelph Royals. Exactly what you want to see here if you're a Royals fan here in the bottom of the 9th.
The names to come up to bat in this inning, Guaranteed Morrow, Pina, and Takamatsu.
That one missing on the outside edge. Well, they have to get on to Mendez early here and try to rough him up a little bit. A big gap in between the shortstop and the second baseman. You got to drive this one right through the hole if you're Connor Morrow. He's 1 for 3. He had the hit in the first.
Actually came right up the middle. See if he can replicate it here.
Swing and a miss for strike 2.
And that's going to be important for these Royals hitters. Get to Davey Mendez early before he can start to build a rhythm. Because yes, even in what would be considered an off year for him, he's still Davey Mendez. He can still build impressive momentum and see what he can do here.
The 1-2 fouled back.
Even something like that, putting bat to ball, making contact, is enough to start to throw Mendez off his game. Looking back at previous appearances from Mendez, he struggles when essentially met with opposition. When batters kind of let things fly by, let him rack up those outs, then absolutely he's going to be thrilled. He's going to keep firing at all cylinders, but once someone starts to push back, that's when they can break through.
There's strike 3 as Morrow goes down looking on the outside edge. And Mendez gets Connor, and there's 1 down. Well, Mendez will now take on Kaner Pina. And Davey, you look at the last 5 outings he has had. He has 6 innings of work in those 5 outings, and I'm including that All-Star Showdown appearance in this, where, in fact, actually just in his last 4 appearances for the Jackfish, he has given up 0 runs. Goose egg on the board, gave up the 1 run in the All-Star Showdown. But you look at those last 4 games, just the 3 hits given up. Strikeouts have been there, 6 strikeouts, make it now 7 here with that last K on Connor Morrow. The 1-0 to Pina. That one over to Weisner. Bobbled it for a moment, but got it over to first in time. And the Royals are down to their final outs. And it'll be Garrett Takamatsu. The last chance here for the Royals here on a Saturday night.
And if you're the Royals, if you had to pick just one man to be your last hope, 10 times out of 10, it would be Garrett Takamatsu for this season. Of course, entered tonight's contest with a 347 batting average, 6 homers, 36 RBIs, just casually dropping 42 hits in the season so far.
Well, that average has dipped down to 339. He's 0 for 3 tonight, as that one will paint the outside edge for a strike. A fly out and a pair of ground outs here for Tak. As a lot of ground balls have reached the infield, but not too much has gotten by Luther or Wisner. The 0-1. That one missing on the outside as Robbie Mullen looked like he set up a little bit more on the outside there. Mendez really living on that outside edge.
Why fix what isn't broken? It's gotten him this far in the game, back-to-back Ks. Pardon me, the K and the out.
The 1-1, that one missing yet again on the outside, trying to pick that corner. Again, after tonight, the Jackfish, just a few games remaining on the regular season.
Mendez really taking his time with this next one.
That'll miss. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Tried to go a little too far outside, did Mendez. And should Takamatsu get on base, waiting in the wings is catcher Matthew Ward.
Again, Welland, before I was cut off by the internet here at Hastings Stadium, they'll be back in action on Thursday against Kitchener at home. It'll be a 7:15 first pitch. 6:05 on Saturday next weekend against Chatham-Kent. The 3-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Down to the final strike here in this ball game. Royals on the road tomorrow against Brantford before they play 2 of their final 3 games of the season here at home. Mendez looking for the payoff. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Mendez goes 1, 2, 3.
That's the ball game.
And the Welland Jackfish blank the Guelph Royals 3-0 here on a Saturday night under the lights here at Hastings Stadium.
I think for the Royals, heading out of tonight's game, you really got to look at the positives. That your pitchers were, your relief pitchers were so effective coming out of the pen that Brandon Deans only gave up the 1 run, that we saw a new improved version coming off of his impressive last start, really parlaying it into a good night here on the bump. Your pitchers really showed up and showed out tonight, and holding the Welland Jackfish, the league-leading Welland Jackfish, a team that has scored 319 runs in this season, is no small feat. That is, by any means, something to be happy with, something to be proud of, that your pitchers were able to get the job done tonight and limit the damage.
Well, the fact of the matter is, though, you limit the Jackfish to 3 runs, but you're not winning a ball game any day of the week when you just get 3 hits. As the trio, actually the quartet of Euclides Layer, Ben Abram, Pedro de los Santos, and Davey Mendez really just kept the Royals at bay. And, that's pretty much the end-all be-all of that one there, too. Yes, it's a positive to just give up the 3 runs to the Jackfish, who have been el fuego all season on the offense, but you're not really going to get much done on just 3 hits in the ball game.
Yeah, it was something that the Royals really struggled with tonight, is simply putting bat to ball, those fundamentals, those textbook basic things. But in my opinion, who can blame them? Faced up against this murderer's row of Layer, Abram, De Los Santos, and Davey Mendez. That's about as tough competition as you can get, and should these 2 meet down the line, I guarantee you the Royals hitters will have learned their lesson.
Well, again, the final score here tonight, it is the Welland Jackfish 3, the Guelph Royals no score. Out-of-town scoreboard right now, the Hamilton Cardinals still leading the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 9-3. So, still not really good news for the Guelph Royals on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers also with a big lead, 16-2 on the Brantford Red Sox, now 17-4. That game in the bottom of the 8th. Barrie beating Kitchener 4-1 earlier on tonight. The standings watch continues as not really much help around you, and you take the loss. You're down to 10.5 back of the Welland Jackfish. Now a full game in behind Hamilton, likely going to be a game and a half after tonight if Hamilton wraps up their game with that win over Toronto. Even with the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers ahead of them, too, a Chatham-Kent win puts the Royals 3.5 back of 4th place. So there is that little bit of separation, and that makes the next game for the Guelph Royals very, very crucial. First off, tomorrow against Brantford, and then on Tuesday, one of 2 final games against the Hamilton Cardinals. And quite frankly, with this loss here tonight, Josh, you need to win both of those games against Hamilton if you want to climb the standings.
And that's the thing, Mark. That's fuel to the fire for these Royals. It's a tough loss. For lack of a better term, it's an ugly loss to the Welland Jackfish. Only 3 hits, no runs across the board. Sure, your pitching does make up for it in parts. Your defense makes up for it in parts. But that loss stings. It hurts, and it's going to eat away at these Royals. And it's going to be fuel to the fire. Push them into performing at their very, very best against the Red Sox and the Cardinals in those 3 very crucial games yet to come.
Well, again, the final score here, 3-0 Welland with the victory. The Guelph Royals will take on the Brantford Red Sox tomorrow afternoon. You can check that out starting at 2 p.m. on the Red Sox YouTube channel as Guelph looks to recover after a 3-0 loss here tonight. The next home game is coming up on Tuesday, 7:35 first pitch, as the Hamilton Cardinals come to town. Well, for Josh, my name is Mark Perry, saying so long here from Hastings Stadium in Guelph. We will see you back here on Tuesday nights.